Hello and welcome to this Moksha Yoga video. We're going to start in a seated position. Legs can be crossed or however's comfy for you. Let your hands rest on your knees and gently close your eyes, bringing your focus inwards. And starting to analyze the breath and how you're feeling today. I'm going to place a hand on our tummy and we're going to draw our breath into our abdomen. Just expanding the tummy on the inhale and letting it deflate on the exhale. Just gently follow this pattern and encourage the breath to slow down a little maybe. And then releasing your focus on the breath. And bringing the hands to heart center and set your intention for your practice today. And this can apply to on the mat and off the mat. Something you would like to happen and focus on. And then releasing the hands, reaching the arms up to the sky. On your exhale, twist to your left side. Let the hands and arms come down where they do. And just breathing gently in your twist here. Use an inhale to come up through center. Exhaling, twist to the right side. Again, let your arms come down. And you don't need to force anything in these twists. Nothing needs to be happening within them, or any of the poses for that matter. Inhale, come up through center. And exhale, take the right hand down to the side for a side bend. You can support yourself, reach your left arm up and over. Just gentle breathing. Inhale, come up through center. And exhale, do the other side. Put the left hand down, right hand reaches up and over. Just gently waking up the body. Inhale, come up through center. Exhale, take the arms to a T and point the fingertips up to the sky. Find that stretch on the underside of the forearm. Just a little bit of tension there maybe. And then we're going to rotate our arms one way and then the other way. Just warming up the shoulder joint. And then bring the hands down to center. Relax the arms, sit up tall, and then we're going to turn the face to the sky. Just stretch the front of the neck into the jawline. Bring the head up through center. And then we'll tilt, drop your right ear towards your right shoulder. And just find that stretch on the left side of the neck. You can move your left arm away from the body and flick the hand up to the sky if you like a little bit more of a stretch, including the shoulder. Bring the head up through center. On an exhale, let your left ear drop to your left shoulder and find that stretch there, adding the arm if you like. It just adds a little extra tension through the top of the shoulder to the fingertips. Bring the head up through center, and then we're going to draw little circles with the nose. Move in one direction and then move in the other direction. And then finding a stationary pose for the head, then drop the chin to the chest. And let the head hang heavy here, finding that stretch on the upper back of the neck. Nice and heavy. Bring the head up through center. And then we're going to remove the block. And we're going to come to table pose. So stack your joints, wrists beneath elbows, beneath shoulders, knees beneath hips. Inhale for cow pose. Soften your tummy. Exhale, round, pushing the hands into the mat for cat. Take a few more of these, so just move with your breath. Inhaling for cow and exhaling for cat. Take it as slow as you can. Being mindful of how your back's feeling, how your hips are feeling, wrists, anything. Just moving nice and slow. It's a very good way to wake up the body, cat-cow. We're going to tuck our toes and bring ourselves to sit back on our heels. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, twist to your left side and bring your arms to a T if you can. If that's too much for your shoulders, just let your arms come down and they can rest where they rest. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, twist to your right side. Just waking up the tummy and the shoulders. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, plant the hands and walk them forwards, handprint, and sink back into extended child's pose. I do move my mat further back in a bit. I've noticed it's very low on the screen. This is my camera work. Let the breath move really deeply in your child's pose. You've got so much space in the chest when we're in child's pose, especially with the arms reaching forwards. Bring yourself up to your knees for half plank, extending a long spine. Tuck your toes here if you can. And take yourself up to full plank. That may not have worked for you, but don't worry if it didn't. Exhale, lower all the way from wherever you were to your tummy. Inhale, bring the upper chest up and the head for a low cobra. Those elbows pointing up to the sky. Sort of peeling yourself up from the mat. And releasing, tuck your toes and bring yourself into downward dog. Getting a nice long spine. This is your first downward dog of the day, so slowly moving the legs, stretching piece by piece. Just be mindful of how the backs of the legs are feeling today. And let your head hang nice and heavy. You've got a long neck, long spine. We're going to walk the hands back towards the feet. So push them into the mat, taking steps all the way back. You can bend your knees here and dangle. Keep the head nice and low. You can wrap one hand in the elbow of the other for dangle pose. Or do what you like, what feels good for your shoulders and elbows. Soften the knees and slowly come on up for Tadasana. And then slowly we're walking towards the front of the mat. Take your time spreading your feet across each step, widening the toes. See, I didn't do it, but I was doing something else. Start at the top of the mat. Inhale, arms sweeping. Exhale, side bend to the right. And just strong through the arms, as if you really are reaching for something. Inhale up through center. Exhale over to the left side. Inhale up through center. Exhale, fold from the hips. Inhale halfway with a nice flat spine. Exhale, fold deeper. Put the hands down. Step the right foot back. Drop the knee. Inhale for low lunge. Exhale, head back for downward dog. Stretching back. Inhale for plank. Exhale, knees down, shoulders and chin down for Ashtangasana, or lower all the way. Inhale for a low cobra. And exhale for downward dog. If it moves a bit quick, just move slow. Inhale, the right leg lifts. Exhale, step it forwards. Drop the left knee. Inhale, arms reach for low lunge. Exhale, frame the front foot and step towards the front of the mat. Soften the knees. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Stepping the right foot back half a step, inhale, arms sweep, exhale, twisting to your right side, another side twist. Just enjoying the stretch through the hip here. Quite a good way to open up. Inhale, arms reach, step forwards, exhale, hands to heart. Step your left foot half a step back. Inhale, arms reach, exhale, twist to the left. Try and keep your hips facing forwards as best you can. Make the twist happen from the waist. Inhale, arms reach up through center, and exhale, step to the front of the mat, hands to heart. Inhale, arms sweep. Exhale, hinge from your hips, coming forwards. Inhale, halfway, nice long spine. Exhale, plant the hands, left foot steps back, drop the knee. Inhale, arms reach for low lunge. Exhale, frame the front foot, step back, downward dog. Inhale through for plank pose. Exhale, lower knees, shoulders and chin for Ashtangasana, or lower all the way. Inhale, low cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, left leg sweeps up. Exhale, step it forwards, drop the right knee. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, hands to the mat and stepping to the front of the mat. Soften the knees, inhale to rise. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, arms sweep. Exhale for chair pose. Finding your chair pose here. You don't have to come down deep. Hopefully you can see your toes sticking out in front of the knees. Exhale, fold all the way. Softening here. Inhale, halfway, nice flat spine. Exhale, step back for downward dog. Inhale for plank. Exhale, lower all the way to the tummy. Inhale for a high cobra if you feel like it, or stay with a low one. Releasing that, come back to downward dog. Stretch back in your downward dog, really elongating your spine. Take the feet wide to the edge of the mat and the hands wide to the edge of the mat. I'm getting a little different downward dog here. So it feels like a deeper, broader stretch. See how it feels for you. Seeing any differences here. Slowly lowering the knees to the mat. Taking the hands forwards and coming into puppy pose. Sink the chest down towards the mat. The forehead can be on the mat, or if you've got the flex in the neck, put your chin on the mat so the gaze is forwards and just let the breath move slowly and gradually here. You don't need to force it. You don't need to find a deep back bend. And then find a way to transition into Sphinx pose. You can bring the chest forwards, or you can take the bum back and take some weight off the shoulders and then come into Sphinx pose. Drop your shoulders from your ears, and if they're clear, turn the head over the left shoulder and then bring it through center and turn it over the right shoulder. Push the hands back into the mat, bring yourself up for table, extending the right leg away behind you, point the toes down to the ground, drop your right hip so it's in line with the left one. Reach your left hand out in front of you and find that long stretch across the back. Keep your gaze right on the mat in front of your nose so it's straight down. On an exhale, draw the elbow towards the knee. On an inhale, stretch. On an exhale, draw the knee and elbow together underneath you. Inhale, reach. Exhale, draw it near. And inhale, reach and stretch. Place the left hand back down and take the right leg off to the left side of the mat, putting the ball of the foot down. Take a look over your left shoulder at the ankle, finding that stretch. Bring that leg back through center and step the foot where the right hand was for a bit of a 90-90. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, prayer twist to your right side. And if you're comfortable to, put that left elbow on top of the right thigh. Staying open through the chest. Inhale, arms reach, come up through center. Exhale, frame the front foot and step back into table however you can. Resetting yourself for table. Reach the left leg behind you, toes pointing down. Drop the left hip. Right arm reaches forward. Find your stretch here. Still with a strong, long spine. On your exhale, draw the elbow towards the knee underneath you. On an inhale, limbs reach. On an exhale, compression. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, compression. Inhale, reach. And place the right hand down. And then take that foot off to the right side of the mat. Look over your right shoulder. If you like this side bend and stretch through the hips, keep your eyes on your foot and just breathing. Bring that leg back through center and step the foot where the left hand was. Inhale, arms reach nice and tall. Exhale, prayer twist to the left side. Try and encourage the top elbow here up towards the sky in your twist. Almost got like a stretch through the armpit. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, frame the front foot back to table. And then taking the hands forwards, come back into downward dog. Stretching here, long spine, long legs, steady breathing. Inhale for plank pose. Just holding for a second or two, or as long as you want. And lower as slow as you can. You can go all the way to your tummy, or you can stop at chaturanga and inhale upward dog. If you go to your tummy, just inhale high cobra. Release it and then go back into downward dog. Walking the hands back towards the feet. At the same time, just widen the stance, taking the feet to the edge of the mat. Turn the toes out and sink down for Malasana. Coming as low as you like. If Malasana doesn't work for you, you're welcome to take a wide leg child's pose here in its place. Just let the hips sink down between the legs as much as they will and think long spine. Whilst you're here, why not revisit the intention you set at the beginning of the class? Steady breathing. Coming down to your knees from Malasana. That transition may not have worked for everyone, I know, but you can get your hips high to come out of it and step the feet together and lower to your knees, sitting the bum between the feet for Virasana, hero pose. If it doesn't work, use a block. On an inhale, arms reach, and on an exhale, twisting to your right side, arms to a T, or let them come down wherever they do. Inhale, arms through center. Exhale, twisting to the left side. Inhale, arms up through center. Exhale, hands to heart. And nice strong body, just pausing. Inhale, arms reach, palms together. And exhale, bend the elbows and take the hands to the lower back of the neck. Elbows pointing towards the sky. You've got a nice long spine here. Try and keep your ribs pointing down. Nice flat back. And release the arms, reach them up and bring them down to either side of you, behind you, fingers pointing towards the foot of the mat. We're slowly sinking back. So where you get to, it's going to be different for everyone. Just let yourself come down low. Perhaps you make it to your elbows. Perhaps you make it all the way for this extended hero pose, Supta Virasana. You don't have to come all the way down. If you've got a block, it's going to be likely that you aren't going to come all the way down because it would make it a back bend. So just leaning back wherever you are, finding that stretch through the hip flexors, the front of the hips. If you make it all the way down, then perhaps you would like to extend the arms behind you and place them on the ground above the head. And just steady breathing, not going anywhere. You don't like this pose, you don't have to do it. There's no yoga poses you have to do in a class. To come out of this one, if you are lying down, place the hands on the heels and use them to bring yourself up nice and slow. And walk yourself forwards out of the pose, pushing the knees in, coming to a table, tuck your toes, take your hands a step forwards, and find your downward dog. And head hang really heavy. Nice long spine. Inhale, right leg lifts up, and exhale, take the knee towards the right hand and the foot off to the left side for pigeon. We're staying upright in this pigeon pose. So pigeon pose, if there's any pain in the knee, just come out of it, analyze, see if you know what it was. Flex the ankle of the right leg when you're in this pose. It should help strengthen the knee joint. Well, that's what we always say. I tend to believe it. I've experienced it. So the knee joint can be the tricky one in pigeon. But of course the stretch, we feel it in the hips and the glutes and the side of the thigh. But the knee joint is often the one here that could get twisted. That's the problem. Tuck your left toes and drag that right leg back. And if you want to give it a wiggle in downward dog, you can. Scoop the left leg up on an inhale and set it forward for pigeon. Flex the left ankle. We're staying up with our hands pressed into the mat. This kind of upward energy from the pelvis up to the top of the head here. Nice and strong through the torso. Just steady breath. Just let the pose do its thing. You don't have to do anything. You definitely don't have to think too much. Stayed a bit longer on this side. It's quite nice. Tuck your toes in the back leg and find your way back into downward dog. And again, you can waggle that leg a bit and get a little bit more blood flow into it. I love shaking my leg after pigeon. Stretching back, come onto your toes and then lower down to your knees for a child's pose. Steady, deep breathing. Let your arms be relaxed in this one. When you're ready to come out of that child's pose, we'll bring our torso up, walk the knees a little bit further forward and spin yourself so your bum's down on the mat. And we're going to lie down. Knees are bent, soles of feet on the mat. If you can touch your heels with your fingertips, it's a good place for them to be. So we're setting up for bridge pose. On an inhale, lift the pelvis up, getting some space between your back and the ground. And if you want to march those shoulder blades towards one another underneath you, then do, and interlace the fingers on the mat. And if you want to try this supported bridge, then do, placing the hands on the pelvis, lift one leg and then the other. This is a bit extra, you can just try it out if you like. They're pitched over, so there's a nice angle. Keep looking up towards the sky. You could watch this before you do it for instruction and then try it yourself. But don't turn your head when you're in these poses to look at the screen, okay? Lifting from that supported bridge up into a full shoulder stand. And then we'll drop the feet forwards for plow pose, halasana. Over the head. That's not the best instruction, is it? Find your plow pose, letting the toes come to the ground, beyond the head. Hands can interlace and reach towards the lower part of the mat. Gently bring the legs back up to shoulder stand and then slowly lower yourself to the mat. Use your core to stop your hips from dropping really quickly. And we're going to extend the legs back towards the ground, away from us. Point the toes, lift the chest, roll the head back for fish pose. Finding that lovely stretch through the front of the body and through the throat. And relaxing that. Letting the body meet the mat nice and heavily. If you want to make any other adjustments before Shavasana, you can do. If you're just ready for your Shavasana, find your Shavasana. And when you're here, don't forget to let the focus diminish on the breath and the body now. Just resting. And gently bringing your awareness back to your body, perhaps moving your fingers and your toes, and bending your knees, and turning really slowly onto your right hand side. And take your time, and then use your hands to slowly bring yourself up to seated. And if that feels like you're done for the day, you can leave me here. Thank you for taking your time to practice with me today, bringing the hands to heart center. Namaste. If, however, you want to stay for a little bit of pranayama and a little bit of meditation, then do. Find a comfortable position to sit in, letting the hands rest on the knees, long spine. We're going to take Nadi Shodhana, so taking the right hand, folding the index and the middle finger. Close the right nostril with the thumb. Inhale on the left side. Close left nostril. Exhale on the right side. Inhale on the right side. Close the right nostril. Exhale on the left side. You can see the pattern. Inhale on the left side. Close the left nostril, exhale on the right side. Inhale on the right side, close the nostril, exhale on the left side, and so on. Keep the rhythm going. It gets a little bit more comfortable the more you do this, and if you let yourself breathe in your pattern, in your time. Alternate nostril breathing. Try and keep those inhales and exhales equal in length. When you are coming to the end of this, we will exhale on the left side to complete the practice. When you're at the end of that cycle, finishing on the left side, keep your eyes closed, relax your hands, placing them either in your lap or on your knees, however is comfortable. And keep the focus inwards. And just follow the breath. Not staying for long. Thoughts come up, just watch them go. Return to the breath. Bringing your hands together, giving the palms a bit of a rub, and releasing the practice. And thank you for taking the time today for yourself. I hope it's helped you, whatever you needed from it, I hope you got. And I hope you have a really good rest of the day or rest of the evening whenever you're practicing.